It is the 25th. I have 6 days. Can I finish my TBR? It's not looking promising. I'm sorry. Why am I giddy? Why am I literally giddy? Literally. How long has that been there? Hi besties, how are you today? Literally just opened up the package. Why is it the most comfiest thing in the entire world? Can you just, I'm well aware that they've sold out twice now, so very grateful that I was able to get this on the initial launch. Very off topic. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you are here. I decided to make this video because it is currently the 11th of June. However, I fear at the rate I am finishing books, I might not finish my TBR. So there's actually like little fibers everywhere in the air right now. I thought it might be fun to do a reading vlog on can I finish my TBR. Now, I've read 3 books so far, but I still have these many. And they're like pretty chunky. So I'm a little scared for sure. I think I will be able to, let's be realistic, okay? I want to read Leather and Lark because that is Sarah's book club pick. And I absolutely loved Butcher and Blackbird. So I've already tabbed out the weeks and I'm already a week behind, which means I'm already 97 pages behind. That's great for me. Off to the Races is on Kindle Unlimited. However, I do currently have a library hold that got returned. So I don't want to turn my Kindle off of airplane mode because then I will lose the Kindle version of Assassin's Apprentice. I am in Sydney's book club, the Greenhouse Compendium, the Greenhouse. It's very intricate and very complex compared to other Discords I'm in, so I'm not quite sure. But I am in her Discord, book club, whatever, and Assassin's Apprentice was, I think, last month's book pick, and this Sunday is the discussion for this. So this is like high priority right here. I want to finish this. I am currently on page 140, chapter 8. I am loving the writing. I just, for some reason, I don't know if classic fantasy. I get classic fantasy with Robin Hobb. I'm not quite sure if that's legitimate or not. I know that she has made quite a spot for herself in the fantasy world, and I'm loving it, don't get me wrong, but I just am gravitating towards more things. 28 Summers, it's really hard for me to want to pick this up because let me show you how gray it is. Like, it's not giving summer. So it's not giving summer outside, so it's hard for me to want to pick this up because it's gray and gloomy 97% of the day. And then Throne of Glass, I have been saving up my Audible monthly credits because I want to use and buy the Throne of Glass audiobook so I can kind of do hybrid or immersive reading. So I am not too concerned about this because this is just gonna be a buddy read with the audio. I am so excited for this, but I also want to do like a dedicated Throne of Glass reading vlog, so I know that's gonna take forever, but I think it might be fun. So yeah, we will see about that. And then King of Pride, I obviously want to get to, but it's kind of lower on the TBR. If I'm gonna be real with myself, it's a little lower compared to all these other reads. I thought this might be fun to try to do a reading vlog of can I finish my TBR, because I always get really ambitious in the middle of the month or in the beginning of the month, and then I don't consider potential slumps, not in the reading mood, if I'm busy. So I have, however, started to schedule out my days, and I am really proud of that. I think given my current season of life, I'm putting reading a little bit on the back burner just because I do want to spend some quality time. And so I just am finding myself not really reading as much. However, I have started to schedule out my day, and I think this is going to prove really well for productivity. And I'm gonna cram as much as I can / want to do in a 2-hour period during the day. And I think that's going to be really fulfilling. That way I can still dip into everything I enjoy, just being a little bit more better about time management and a little bit more disciplined about following this schedule. So if you are having a hard time finding a routine or some kind of discipline, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's getting off your phone, whether that's having designated reading time, whatever your schedule looks like, I highly recommend going into a Google Calendar and just really scheduling from the moment you wake up till the moment you're in bed, like going to sleep, because I find that constant like reminder to keep on track really helps me. I don't know, I love to-do lists and I love planning, and I just think it is something very automatic. I'm only a couple days in, but I'm feeling really, really great about it, and I'm highly, highly, highly grateful for it, and I think that it might benefit others as well. So, very off topic, needless to say, I do have some time scheduled a little bit each day to see for reading, for content, whatever I want to do. It's my time, it's Tori's time, and so I think I'm going to start prioritizing reading my TBR instead of having some YouTube. So, I think that that will be really beneficial, and I would love to read some of these books with you. So, like I said, highest priority is going to be Assassin's Apprentice, just because it is Tuesday and we have discussion on Sunday. I would love to finish this just because it's been on my TBR since last month, and I've been kind of slowly reading a little bit by little bit. The only thing is though, the chapters are kind of long, and I don't do good with long chapters, so I think that's what's really making it difficult to read, because I love the writing and I love the plot, but it's just the long chapters get me. So I think it's going to be this, and then I'll be able to turn my Kindle off of airplane mode and download Off to the Races and potentially other Kindle books that I have on my Libby. So far so good. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm currently on chapter 8, and I have a feeling that this is going to be the turning point in the plot. I don't think I mentioned what this book is about. So it is about Fitz, and he is a bastard son of Prince Chivalry, and because of being a bastard, he became an outcast to kind of society, and one of Prince Chivalry's stablemen kind of took care of him until I think around the age of like 6. And then kind of dropped him off at the castle and was like, hey, I've done my due diligence, like have Prince Chivalry take care of him or figure out what to do. Like, I'm done, I've done my time, your turn, basically. Fitz kind of befriends one of, I think, his name is Burrich. I say Burrick. He kind of befriends him and kind of finds his day taking care of the horses, hanging out with the dogs. King Shrewd kind of finds fancy with Fitz, secretly has him trained for the skill sets of an assassin. And so I'm at the point right now where he is currently on his first mission that is very potentially dangerous, and no one knows what he's doing. And so it's interesting seeing his training outside of the kingdom with these high prestigious people of another kingdom. Anyways, it's basically about Fitz, who is a bastard and has been shunned and outcasted by everyone, disowned by his own family, and so he kind of creates something for himself, and that includes being an assassin. So also, this is the first book of the Farseer trilogy, which I'm excited because it's only a trilogy. That's not that big of a fantasy series, but I'm pretty sure that Robin Hobb has like kind of continued this world in other series. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like if you are a Robin Hobb stan, please let me know. But the writing is just so easy considering it's like an old-timey classic fantasy book. It's one of those books that if I had read it electronically, I would have wanted the book trophy for it. So I'm glad that when I went to my nearest Barnes & Noble, I treated myself to it because I knew that the loan was going to end and I wanted to continue it. So literally, how long has that been there? Literally hasn't been that long, but this is what I'm talking about. 33 minutes? Am I really that slow of a reader? Or like how many pages is this fucking chapter, you know? Like, that hurts. Hi besties, how are you? If you might be like, oh my god, Tori, your hair looks so good, it's because of this. It was Mr. Mans and I's anniversary, and I'm actually so shook. It's insane, but it was perfect because yesterday was our anniversary and yesterday was hair wash day. So I was like, you know what? I'll just wash my hair in the morning. I think it turned out so cute and it was a lot easier than I thought, and I was shook every time. It like just sucked my hair up. That was pretty freaking cool. Not the point at all. But reading update. So I haven't read since the last time I talked to you guys, which was I think like 2 days ago. Not my best, not my proudest moment, but I am on chapter 12 of Assassin's Apprentice. It says that I have 7 hours and 55 minutes left in this book, which is just so long, and I think it's a little intimidating, so I think I'm going to hold off on this, and I think I'm gonna pick up Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. Angle change because I was using my book stack as a tripod, but this isn't the book I literally want to read. So I have about an hour before I have to leave to go get my nails done. So I think I'm going to maybe read like the first chapter and then listen to my current audiobook, which if you are wondering, it's on my Libby. Shout out to Libby. Literally the best. It is Fruit of the Dead by Rachel Lyon, and it is a Persephone and Hades retelling with a little bit of horror elements. Definitely not my go-to genre, and I definitely think I would have DNF'd if I had read it physically, but listening to an audiobook is just super easy. It's been great. I'm 65% through, and it is dual point of view between the mother's perspective and the daughter's perspective, and I would definitely look up trigger warnings with this book. I went into it completely blind. I just looked up Greek retelling books for Sarah Caroli's book club. There is a summer reading challenge, and one of the prompts is a Greek mythology retelling, so that's why I picked this one up. Otherwise, I've never heard this book before. I've been reading it for 4 hours and 53 minutes, and I currently have 3 hours and 13 minutes left. It's one of those books where I am enjoying it, but I'm just really suspicious about the character Rollo. But I think I might read at least the first chapter of Leather and Lark to at least just get a dent in this, because I'm so effing excited for this book. Oh, be real. Okay, pop off. Just been itching to start this book. I'm gonna start this. Enjoy the little thingamabobber. got my nails done. I think they turned out so cute. Different shape and color than I was expecting, but it's okay. I think they are so cute, and I love me a neutral nail. So, a little bit of an update, and by a little bit, I mean literally I've just read, I'm on page 23. I just finished the prologue in chapter 1, and I just love Brynn Weaver's writing. I think it's comical. I've already underlined a couple things. The meet cute, granted, let me just say, this is a continuation of a serial killer romance. So the meet cute in this book is so cute. Chapter 2 starts with 1 year later, so I'm very curious to see how it goes from there. So far so good. Love the writing. I've giggled a couple times and smiled. I've already underlined, so I think this is going to be a good read. So I just wanted to put it out there. This is giving me life right now. Hi, friends. It is, I think, 5 days since I've spoke to you, maybe 4. Assassin's Apprentice update. We are 54%, and I am on chapter 14. I am really enjoying this story. I am enjoying the story. Fitz just got another puppy, and so I'm curious to see how that plot goes. So I read from page 204 to 235, so not much. We are looking pretty good. I didn't get to finish this and be a part of the live show discussion. That's okay. I'm sure there's like a recording of it that I can watch, maybe if I'm like cooking dinner or something like that after I finish this book. Feather and Lark is the other book I'm currently reading, and I am on page 80. So there's that. I really love the writing of this. It's not as gory as the first book, but I think it's because it's a lot of setup. And I think if you know one of the major tropes in this book, I think I'm right at the chapter where it's going to be presented. So I'm really excited to look forward to that. I would have read this on the plane, but I didn't bring the physical copy because this is a lot easier to carry than this. So these are the 2 books. Still haven't finished them, so that's great. I'm 72% done with Fruit of the Dead. I don't know if I've updated since then. Not much to update right now, unfortunately. So I think I might be in a slump, a little bit of a slump mood, but I'm just working through it. I still want to read. I am still obsessed with reading. It just takes me quite a while to like really get in the story, and then once I am like in the world, I don't want to stop reading. But responsibilities happen, you know, like there's just things that need to be done around the house. That's my update. Happy reading, friends. I don't know when you're seeing this, so hopefully I can get through work pretty quickly and then get to reading. Cheers. Hi guys, it's been a couple days. I have finally finished Assassin's Apprentice. I am landing on a 4-star. I think if I wasn't in a slumpy mood, or I might have binged this book in less time than I did. It took me over a month to read this book, and it was 438 pages. So I think if I read it like within a week's time, my rating would have been higher. I absolutely adored Robin Hobb's writing. I think it's fantastic. I'm going to continue the series for sure. I actually got the Libby hold for the complete Farseer trilogy, so as soon as I get that, I'm going to jump into the second book. I had a really good time. Once I get the hold from Libby back, I'm going to go back and annotate what I put on my Kindle, but because the loan expired, I can no longer access the book, so I fear those annotations might be gone. But 4-star, absolutely loved this book so much. Highly would recommend if you were looking for a fantasy that seems classic-like. I really enjoyed this. The next book that I've made some decent progress on is Leather and Lark. I am about 50-ish% through. I am on chapter Hologram, if that makes any sense. I am on page 168. I am really enjoying this. I have been highlighting quite a few times, shall I say. But yeah, so those are my updates as of right now. I have, how many days are in June? Okay, I have a week to finish my TBR. So finished Assassin's Apprentice, really enjoyed it. I feel like it got me in the reading mood. I am about 50% in Leather and Lark. Another book I am currently reading that wasn't on my TBR is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and I am 59% through this, so I think I'm going to continue listening to this while I do some household chores, aka laundry. I did download Off to the Races by Elsie Silver on my Kindle, as well as King of Pride by Anna Huang. Both of these are on my Kindle, so I think these are going to be my nighttime reads now. They are fairly quick romances. They're both dual point of view, so I think I'll be able to get through these a little fast. Another thing, I am going to start Throne of Glass. I think maybe tomorrow or Wednesday. When Amazon did their Stuff Your Kindle Day, I actually purchased the entire bundle of the Throne of Glass series, so I also made sure I downloaded that on my Kindle so I can read the Throne of Glass on my Kindle as well. I'm really excited to get into this entire series, but I am planning to do an entire reading vlog, so we'll see how that goes. The only book I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get to is 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand, which I'm quite sad for. However, the past few days in Southern California have been beautiful and hot, so I am really kind of in the mood now to read this, because when I did put this on my TBR, it was really gray and gloomy. Now that it's starting to feel like summer, I am excited to maybe dive into this, but because I have other formats of these books, I am going to prioritize these. So, can I read all these books in 1 week? We will see. Collectively, let me do the math here. Okay, I just did the math. If I can read these books in a week, I would have read 1,336 pages, which is kind of crazy. So we will see. I plan to make a lot of headway on this book. Okay, that's my update. Hi, besties. So yesterday was the last time I updated you. No progress in Leather and Lark, unfortunately. I've spent a majority of my day editing the book tag, mid-year book tag video. I've had multiple technical difficulties, so I've really just tried to figure it out and not try to get frustrated, trying to manage my emotions. Reading kind of has been put on the back burner, which is unfortunate because my 190 pages I need to read. I didn't read after yesterday, and I definitely haven't read today, so I'm going to try to read as much as I can tonight. The book in question is King of Pride. I have read up to page 56 today, so if I can get up to like the 150 mark, or even like the 180 mark, I feel like that would kind of put me just one day behind, if that makes sense. If I'm doing the math right, guys, I am so bad at math, so you cannot judge me, and you cannot mark my words. Yes, I am on chapter 8. It is between Isabella and Kai. Isabella is Vivian from the King of Wrath's best friend, and Kai is the male interest, and he is the brother or the best friend of Dante, which was the male main character in the first book. So I am liking the glimpses of the previous couple. We are getting a lot of glimpses of Sloane, which I think the third book is about. So far so good. I like the dual point of view. The chapters are pretty quick. The words are kind of small, so I am opting to read it on my Kindle, which is great. It does say I'm going to be done with this book in 6 hours. So I'm going to try to not speed read, because I don't want this to be too much of a challenge. I actually want to enjoy the books I'm reading. 6 hours is kind of a long time. So I'm gonna try to at least make a decent chunk tonight, and we'll see what we do tomorrow. So it is the 25th. I have 6 days. Can I finish my TBR? It's not looking promising. Hi guys. Quick update, because I have been editing a lot the past 2 days and I've realized how much I ramble. So let's just cut to the chase. I am currently reading King of Pride. I think I updated you yesterday, but I am on page 134 and I am really enjoying it. I figured I would share a couple thoughts. Isabella is a bartender at a members club and Kai is a member, and that's kind of how they have their little meet cute. I am enjoying it. We've already had like one spicy scene, which I don't expect. It's only a 380 something romance novel. I am loving the banter between the two of them, and I've realized with Anna Huang's writing, she does a lot of dialogue, which I appreciate. So it's reading fairly fast. I do plan to maybe get to like page 150, 160 today. That would be ideal. Obviously, the more I read, the better for the sake of this video. I am really enjoying Isabella. I also related to her in a way. She lost her dad in kind of like a sudden death, and we don't really know much about that yet, but she kind of talked about grief and how sometimes you don't know what's better, like knowing someone is going to die or having them die suddenly. And that is kind of what happened in my case with my dad. And so I kind of resonated with Isabella and I felt with her. So that sounded weird. I felt for her because I've gone through that, which was something I wasn't expecting in this book. So I'm curious to kind of see if we figure that out. There's also been a little bit of foreshadowing about Isabella's trauma, which again, I'm hoping we discuss further. And then one more thing, Isabella kind of hinted that she needs to have something done, like as far as a career path before the age of 30. That's just something that her family does. And so I think that's again a little foreshadowing to something that might be the conflict. I am enjoying it. So far, so good. I just wanted to give you an update on how I felt so far. Okay, hi guys. I literally just finished the audiobook for After I Do. I really enjoyed it to the point where I ordered the physical copy because I really want to go back and annotate the quotes because they were very relatable, very memorable, and so I would love to add that book to my physical shelf. I would love to add that physical book to my shelf. That's another book I've read this month. Another update, I did get Assassin's Apprentice back on my Kindle, and I'm very grateful that all of my highlights stayed. Highlights on my Kindle on airplane mode. I didn't know if it was going to save. So I'm going to actually, the air just kicked off. I'm going to actually go into my physical copy and annotate those highlights and then return the hold. That was one of those books that I just thought it was easier reading on my Kindle than the physical copy. Leather and Lark, I've made decent progress on. I think it said 68%, but this feels more than 68%. I'm on the exposed chapter, page 284, and I am enjoying it, but for a whole different reason. I think Butcher and Blackbird was more dark as far as the offings, and then I think it was more comedic, whereas this one I'm still finding funny, but it's more of a romance with a subplot of some darkness. So I think you can tell that they're in the same trilogy, obviously because of the characters and their relation, but it's a little different than what I was expecting. I am curious to see what these next 100 pages look like. On the back, it says right here that there is a third party person, and I think that we were introduced to this suspicious person and they kind of just appeared and then we haven't seen them again, so I'm curious to see if that will come to fruition in the next 100 pages. So I think we're doing pretty well. Again, King of Pride, I think I'm like 54% through. So honestly, the only two books, like I said, that I think I might have issues with is this one. I did look at the audiobook for Throne of Glass, and it is about 13 hours. So if I listen to it on 2 times speed, I will be able to get it done in like 6.5 hours. And I'm like, how realistic is that gonna be for the weekend? Because I don't want to rush this. That's the problem. I want to really enjoy it, really get introduced to the world and understand what's going to happen in this book. So I think I might be able to start this, but I don't know if I'll be able to finish it. Off to the Races. I mean, it's a possibility. This font is huge, and so I think I might pick this one up after these 2 books, because I think I'll be able to quickly get through this and start this series. I think there's some progress. If I am very productive today, I think we will be able to at least get closer to finishing this book, and annotating Assassin's Apprentice, even though that's not really a good use of my time, maybe? I don't know. I want to do it, okay? It's my life. I'm being indecisive, whatever. I just realized I haven't really updated you since starting Off to the Races. I am currently 38% chapter 13, and it's about Billy and Vaughn. Billy is we don't really know much about her background, but I think we're about to learn a little bit of it, or that's going to kind of come to fruition because someone recognized her and she kind of dismissed it. Technically, she is just like the horse keeper, making sure that one of their more difficult horses are able to race and make money for the kind of dwindling Gold Rush Ranch. Vaughn is kind of like the accountant slash like assistant manager. He co-owns it with his brother, and he recently lost his grandfather, which was kind of like a father figure to him, so he's dealing with grief and kind of overtaking the ranch. So he has a lot going on internally in his life. We don't really know much about Billy except that she had a really great opportunity in Dublin, and now she is at the Gold Rush Ranch working as like a horse helper. That's all I really know. I'm finding it a little boring, and I think it's because it has to do with a lot of the inner monologue instead of banter. So far so good. 38%. I mean, we've had like a little bit of tension for this book, but it just seems very like there's nothing. I don't know. Right now it's sitting at maybe like a 3 stars for me. We'll see. It has been a couple days, and it is officially July 1st, and I am here to do a quick outro. Long story short, I was unsuccessful with finishing my June TBR, which I'm not mad at because I did read quite a few other books that I, was just in the mood to read, and so I'm not mad. I still think I had a really good reading month, which I'm going to be very brief on the last book I read in this video. 2 books I did not read are Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas and 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand. I'm not mad at either of these because I really want to enjoy my time reading this, and I don't want to rush it, whereas the last 2 books I read, I felt like I was rushing it, so my dog just keeps making noises. I'm not mad at this, okay? This will be started and finished in July. I will promise you, okay? I am very careful when it comes to my promises, but promise I will have read this in July, okay? So there's that. And then the other book is 28 Summers, like I said. Can you just... Does that look like summer weather? No, okay? Forgive me for not wanting to read this, okay? It is what it is. It is still in my summer TBR, so it is still on my radar if I can make this book on my July TBR for a prompt. So that being said, the last book I read for this video is Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. I'm going to maybe give this like a 3.5. Not a bad book by any means. It felt a little predictable. It felt very flat, and I know that this is an intro book, so I'm really excited to continue the series. So the next book is about Violet Eaton, which, if we know, is the sister of the Eaton brothers from the Chestnut Spring series, so I'm very intrigued to read a photo finish. It's a good book, don't get me wrong. I had over 70 highlights of this book. Just kind of dragged for certain scenes, but then near the end, after the 3rd act conflict, it kind of felt rushed. So I don't know. I think it's a good length for a romance. I just think that maybe we should have cut out a couple scenes and then expanded after the 3rd act conflict. I don't know. It kind of wrapped up a little fast for me. If you love horses, read this book. I did enjoy this book, but it was just forgettable. And I think that's why I'm leaving it at like a 3.5. I rated it a 3 on Goodreads. In theory, I think it's a 3.5 because I did enjoy it. It's Elsie Silver, like you can't go wrong. So these are the 4 books that I ended up reading off of my 6 book TBR. So again, like I said, I'm not beating myself up too much because these are books I really want to enjoy. These are the 4 books I ended up reading off of my TBR. I did read 7 more books this month. A couple of them were not on my TBR per se. A couple of them were audiobooks, so go ahead and watch my wrap up. But just to quickly spitfire, just talked about this. Same time next summer, I thought it was okay. I am very intrigued to pick up Nora Goes Off Script and then read Summer Romance. That is on my physical TBR. I just bought that. I know. This one I enjoyed, but there was just kind of a trope in here that I felt like could have been hashed out, and then I would have supported the relationship more. If you know, you know. If you read the synopsis, you might get an idea. Especially for such a short book, I feel like it dragged too far, and then it wrapped up the romance really quick. So 3.5. Not my favorite. I think I gave it a 4 on Goodreads. I really enjoy Annabelle Monaghan's writing. It is short and sweet, right to the point, no additional fluff, but the details are there. King of Pride, I think I talked about. I think I'm gonna land a 4-star, just flat 4, maybe 4.25. The only reason why is because I really enjoyed the man who loves to read, the whole library, him supporting her passion, that kind of thing. The spice, whatever, the third act conflict, whatever. But I think because it felt like a book about people who love books, I enjoyed that. So excited to read the next book about Alessandra and Dominic. I'm very curious. We got a lot of breadcrumbs from their relationship in this book, and it seems like their relationship is on the rocks. So I'm very, very excited to read that one. 5-star. 5-star. I'm sorry. Why am I giddy? Why am I literally giddy? Relax, okay? I really enjoyed Daisy Hates. I loved the 3 point of views we got. We did not expect that, which, again, I try to go into books as blind as possible, given how hyped up this universe is. If I can, I want to put Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home on my July TBR. At this point, I have not filmed it, so we will see what I'm able to get. But I absolutely love this. I annotated the crap out of it. Highly recommend this universe. Again, it's just Jessa Hastings writing. And I love Daisy. She is a baddie. She is educated. She knows what she wants. She doesn't settle. Daisy is really that girl, okay? As toxic as this universe is, I loved Daisy. And every time I, just throughout this book, I was just like, wow. Daisy just doesn't give a crap. She doesn't care, and she's gonna do what she wants. And I loved the power she held over the boys in her life. I liked her a lot. Out of the 6-book TBR, I've read 4. That's a 67% success rate. I'm not mad, okay? I'm not mad. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try to start this at the beginning of July, so now, and have just a month-long reading vlog. So if you guys like those kinds of videos, I encourage you to subscribe, maybe stick around. If you have made it to the end of this video, leave a blue heart emoji, because most of my books this month were blue. So if you made it this far, leave a blue heart emoji, because I know you're the real one. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!